You are being programmed.
Right guys, this is just a quick disclaimer for anyone who doesn't like a what if type of video, because this is such a huge what if, you're going to catch a nosebleed. So this is just a very quick disclaimer, just laying that out there guys, because from this point, this video is a huge what if. It's entertaining, it's interesting, it offers some answers to some questions, but it ain't fact. I'm not portraying it as a fact. It's just me thinking out loud on my platform. And that's the best way to do it, because I love learning, and I love learning from the comments that people offer me on this channel. It's inspiring. So this huge what if video, this nosebleed what if, it is going to be one of them that some people might not be able to take. Not everything I'm saying it, I believe in it. I'm just using the point of, if I read something out, that is what the person who wrote it. And it's weird that you have to even say these things, but some people just don't read the description or anything. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to put this little disclaimer in at the beginning, telling people if they have no discernment or they don't like a what if video, please please just walk away now. Save yourself some triggering moments. Right guys. So a few weeks ago I made a video, Tartary, the remnants of Yalos, just showing you a different perspective on Tartaria. So when we see old pictures like this, which fascinate me, especially when we go to the old buildings and the architecture, I mean, wow, they're beautiful, aren't they? And we always ask, especially when we see engravings too, who built them? Why can't we build like that now? How much would it cost if we built it today? So all these different questions we have racing through our heads, especially when they do monuments as well. Very rare now. All these giant statues have been popping up all around the world, but apart from that, really, we don't see much of this architecture anymore, especially in capital buildings and different things. What happened? What was it? Lost tech? Was it Masonic? Was it, you know, all these questions we have? Who built them? Why don't we build like that anymore? Well, this video is all about a theory of how these buildings, because when you look at them on a whole, they're standalone, aren't they? They're on their own. I mean, you think about it, people always ask, how can people in horse and cart build all these beautiful buildings? Because you always look at these pictures, even this one, you'll see the odd building, it stands out. It's like it just reappeared from nowhere. Well, this video is just coming up with a theory to answer that. It's not going to be fact, it's just my opinion. I'm brainstorming to get an idea off my chest that I've had for a very long time. Yes, you might laugh at it, mock at it, but who cares? It's my platform, and I just love interacting with the great minds who think alike, not identical, but think alike. So this video is about a counter-earth and how could that possibly influence buildings that we see in these images. It's a crazy what if, guys, but hopefully you enjoy the ride. Right, I've got the giggles, guys. Right, guys, I'm going to be talking about counter-earth, obviously, and some weird what if moment was triggered in me a few weeks ago when I mentioned counter-earth in one of my videos. So I want to try and go into it a little bit more detail, but from my standpoint of view, and this long-standing theory that I've had. It's been niggling me for a long time, and I've been bringing stuff in from other videos to show you, could that possibly be the reason counter-earth exists, if you believe it exists. Now, it's a strange thing, because counter-earth, people often think of a globe. I'm not. Well, I'll show you how they thought of it. It could be another reality. It could be Planet X. It could be a lot of things, what this counter-earth could be. And that's what's the interesting thing is. So I'm going to read this out, and I'll put it on the screen so you can read along with me. Right. Are you ready? So, the central fire or the hearth of the universe. So, I've just mentioned about the central fire or the hearth of the universe. And this is from a site called Chem Europe. I just found it fascinating. I'm going to read it out, obviously, and see what you guys think. So, it's talking about a fiery celestial body hypothesized by the pre-Socratic philosopher Phililous. if that's how we pronounce it, to be positioned at the centre of the universe and around which all other celestial objects revolve. It is sometimes called the house of Zeus, but more frequently the mother of gods, or Hestia, after the goddess of the fire and the hearth, or the hearth, Hestia. And you can see the likeness and why I'm talking about and why I refer to Janus a lot, because he's associated with Zeus too. So here we go. So the significance and history of the science. Like the pre-Socratic thinkers, Phililous, how you pronounce it, I'll get it wrong all the time, it doesn't matter, operated under the common sense idea that the world was flat. However, his astute observations of the movements of the stars and the planets led him to develop the firm conviction that the apparent motion was due in part to the real motion of the observer, i.e. that the Earth must rotate around not only a central point but also its own axis. Now obviously Phililous is part of the Pythagoras and Pythagoreans, the secret brotherhood. You know, the one, it's the most secret of societies that I've covered in the Brotherhood. If you've not checked that out, you know, please do. So up to that, here we go. So though we take it for granted today that this is in fact true, and that the central point is questioned is the sun, Phililous' Pythagorean view of the cosmos led him to believe that not only the Earth must revolve around this point, but also every other body in the universe, including the sun. The idea's monumental importance to this history of science lay not only in the fact that it was the first to identify the Earth's own rotation, but also in that it did away with the idea of fixed directions of up and down in space. Since in his understanding the world was flat, its revolution around a fixed point meant that down must be any direction towards the central fire, and up any direction away from it. The idea is even more impressive when one considers that it predated Newton's law of universal gravitation by more than 2,000 years. Obviously, his story is history for a reason. Implications in Pythagorean philosophy. Given the elegance and mathematical simplicity of Phililous' ideas regarding the nature of the Earth's place in the cosmos, it is easy to understand how the idea of the central fire quickly became a fixture in his thinking of his fellow pre-Socratics. Since the celestial body was necessarily beneath the Earth at all times, it existed at the very least, could not be disproven. So basically, they were theorising, I can't remember, I want to go through it anyway, but basically they reckon it was just out of our eye, just below what we call the horizon. It's intriguing, is it people, like what we're talking about, frequencies of the eyes, on how we oscillate? Could more and more people actually see it? Is this what people see with what we call, you know, Planet X? Or in fact, because as you know, the moon only appears in photographs and cave paintings and, you know, actual evidence, not like throughout history. It's always the sun for some strange reason. So what if, like, some people have made videos on, you know, crater Earth being the moon being the reflection of this? What is if the actual, what we're seeing is a reflection of counter Earth? Just an idea. So became a fiction thinking existence of very least could not be disproven. However, all this created a problem in the Pythagorean cosmology. The Greek philosophers did not regard the Earth as a planet. Planets in their understanding were composed of ethereal matter having little or no density. A fifth element with neither positive density like earth and water nor negative density like fire and air. Since these objects existed with zero density, they could quite easily rotate eccentric to the Earth without becoming off balance. However, the Earth was obviously made of dense elements of earth and water. If there was a single Earth revolving at some distance from the centre of space, the universe centre of balance would not coincide with its spatial centre. Since this is a point towards which things fall, the Earth must have a counterbalance of the same mass, or the universe would be flung apart. This problem led to Phililous develop an idea of a counter-Earth, a second flat Earth, identical but opposite to ours in every way. And this is just what intrigued me. So that is, like I was saying, they're talking about another Earth called counter Earth, and this is thousands of years ago. Obviously in history it could have been 1,000, it could be 500, it could be anything, it could be all bollards, it could be all made up. But these guys are in the Pythagorean Brotherhood. This is where all secret societies get all the rituals from, and things go viral, like some Masonic video showing you the sun and the moon with the sextant and compass go viral. Guys, all this Masonic stuff come from these guys. That's what the beauty of this is. You can take it as a pinch of salt, but it's still information, and information is gold. The ideas of flat Earth, counter Earth and central fire will all eventually superseded by the theory, which was brought in the Great Vow to L shift, when obviously people were at a stage when, you know, they wanted to question everything, and a reset happened, not just physically but spiritually and obviously intellectually and consciously. And it's basically currently held by the scientific community that is of a spherical Earth rotating around its own axis while revolving around the sun. The counter Earth is still a popular motif in science fiction and fantasy right today, and I'm going to show you some of them also today. So this is interesting, isn't it? So you can just see the implications of this, and this is what I'm going to tie into these buildings and different things using this science fiction and everything. And people will say, oh, it's science fiction. I know, but we can't use proof that they're hiding things in plain sight in books, in films, in TVs, in comics. Yet when I use something, it's no, it's only a comic. We can't have it both ways. So that's just what I'm using, guys. It's an intriguing theory, isn't it? Right, guys, so you can see how this intrigues me. We're talking about a flat Earth, but he's talking about there's also a counter Earth. So two Earths. One is said to be just below the horizon, that we sometimes can't see it. It's intriguing, is it? But two flat Earths. And 11, they worship a god called Janos, who is a bridge, who is a god of doorways. Can you see my point? Connecting both realities, both Earths together. And I'm going to show you everything that might make me sound crazy, but I just love thinking out the box, and this has just got me so excited. It could be anywhere. Like I said, counter Earths could be together, it could be underneath, it could just be in a reality, so it's just out of phase. And I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna show you everything, but it gets you thinking, doesn't it? Because especially when you add like Norse mythology and you've got Idrisil and the different realms, it just gets you, you know, excited. And then thinking back to old sci-fi programs where they were talking about things like this, and this will tie in with why I was talking about the old buildings, and a lot of people are thinking and come to understanding so much advanced tech, and the building is just one off or a few buildings in a town. Every other building around it is basically rubbish compared how they built it, how it's standing, what they're hiding when they took some of these buildings down. Why can't they reproduce it? It's like they just reappear from another reality. And there we have it. So this is what this video is about, guys. You can see how excited I am. Hopefully you can see why. So when we see them books online, it gives you a paragraph. I found this, and I believe it's pronounced Phililous or Phililous. So Phililous cosmology, the Earth revolves around the central fire, along with the other heavenly bodies, including a planet called Counter Earth, which orbits below the Earth. His theory can account for most astronomical phenomena. A common criticism of his theory since ancient times is that his counter Earth does not work in the system that must use today. Yet ancient sources say the planet was supposed to account for some lunar eclipses. A reconstruction of Philolous's cosmology shows how lunar eclipses occurring at certain times of the day cannot be explained by Earth blocking the sun's light. A lot of people talk about this. The counter Earth could explain these eclipses. Concerning the location of the Earth, not everyone holds the same view. Well, we don't, do we? But while most maintain that it lies at the middle, namely those who say that the heaven is finite in extent, members of the Italian school, called the Pythagoreans, say the opposite. They say there is a fire at the centre of the earth, acting as one of the heavenly bodies, is carried around the centre in a circle so as to produce night and day. Further, they posit another earth opposite this one, which they call counter-earth, not seeking explanations and causes in light of observations, but trying to make their observations fit their own preconceived theories. And that's by Aristotle K.L. So it's just interesting when you just see different perspectives and things. Like I said, I don't necessarily believe this. Some of it answers the question, but you know, it's intriguing. We should look at different types of models and theories to see why people think this way, because it makes us a better researcher and a better person. So we all say they love to hide things in plain sight. They love to give us clues in films, in music, in advertising, anything. They love to show things in plain sight. They love to hide it. They like to mock us. Now, could it possibly that they're hiding things in comics too? It's just a thought, because have a look at this. This is obviously a what if video, and you know what I mean, I'm not saying nothing's fact, but this is counter Earth. Yep, you got that. Marvel have done a counter Earth. So I'm just going to read a little bit out from the fan site describing it, and you won't believe some of the things that they talk about. It just makes you go, wow. You know what I mean? It's not it's not a fact, but it just makes your mind race, and then you think of other things, and that's what I'm going to try and bring into this video. Right, guys, this is counter Earth, as you see the image I've used. Now, as I was just saying, that love to hide things in plain sight. They do it in TV, they do it in films, they do it advertisement logos, which obviously is similar to, well, it is the word of God, logos. Now, are they hiding it in this comic? Are they giving us information? And like I said, this is just a what if. I've still got my faculties, I think. But I just love brainstorming, and I don't get the chance to talk to many people just to sound crazy ideas off, because that's just how I work. I have an active imagination. So, High Evolutionary created the first version of Counter Earth as a purer version of the original Earth. As in many myths, however, an evil force in the person of Man-Beast. Sound familiar? Counter Earth turned out to be a lot like the original, except that there were no superheroes. Dismayed, the High Evolutionary sent Warlock to this world, or to his world, to straighten it out. The High Evolutionary placed Counter Earth a microsecond out of dimensional sync to hide it from Earth. So you have Phililous saying it's opposite, you know, the Earth is opposite over the central fire, so that's how the counterbalance, counter Earth. And the comics and Marvel are saying it's just out of dimensional sync. It's interesting, that, isn't it? Because think about it, if it's just a microsecond out, and some of us have, as I call it, the tuning fork, you know, a lot of people are sensitive. So what is if the people who are more sensitive can pick up the other counter Earth? Think about it. Is there, if it's another dimensional type of thing, is there another version of you over there? Is events slightly the same or different over there? Especially if you've watched things like Fringe, some things are slightly different. Is this what's happening in the Mandela effect? Yes, this is crazy things that Paul's coming out with, but it's my platform and I just love doing it, because this is how I learn. Doesn't, you know, it might sound crazy to some, but you never get anywhere if you don't, you know, do these crazy theories that, you know, I've become famous for. So they're talking about how it's just a microsecond out of sync. Now, if this Earth does sink or come close to sinking, is this what's spiking the Schumann resonance? And when people feel off, because obviously the counter Earth is nearly sinking, is this where another you is sinking? It's just crazy when you think about it, isn't it? So they've just basically a microsecond out of dimensional sync to hide it from Earth. Counter-Earth was eventually stolen by the alien Sphincter. Let's just click on, see what he looks like. Sphincter, there you go, reptilian. Oh, what a surprise. Let's just get that out of there. So you can just see an image of him there. So, Sphincter. What does that sound like? Sphincter. You know, I think it's the muscle in your anus, your anus, your Janos. Or is it just because they're talking shit? Probably that one. But it's funny how they're using that, isn't it? Of all names. On the orders of a fantastically powered alien race called the Beyonders, who placed it in a museum. When fighting against the Warlock discovered that Thanos, again sounds like Janos, had destroyed Counter-Earth while in possession of the Infinity Gauntlet. Under unknown circumstances, Counter-Earth resurfaced, now exclusively inhabited by the New Men or Free Men. However, the High Evolutionary exterminated any new men on a routine basis if they failed at meeting his standards. He was assisted in his goals by the Master Scientist and Luminous. You know, Luminous, Lightbringer. You know, it's just things that we're looking at. Who created from the genetic templates of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Quicksilver was one of my... Is it Quicksilver is the one... No, that's the Silver Surfer. I always think of the Silver Surfer. He was one of my favourites as a kid. In addition, a human called Low Evolutionary was given shelter to the New Men's floors in a low town. During the fight with the Avengers Unity Division, the High Evolutionary left Counter-Earth with Luminous. At some point, upon returning to Counter-Earth, the High Evolutionary was approached by a Maker to evolve the universe. After dealing with High Evolutionary Maker on Counter-Earth, the Ultimate and the Earth's 1610 counterparts were able to undo the damages by the two of them. While continuing his experiments on Counter-Earth, the High Evolutionary came up with a plan to merge Earth with Counter-Earth by syncing the vibrational frequencies and using technology to accelerate Counter-Earth to Earth's location. Right. They want to sync it. Right. We need a god of doorways. Portals. Frequency keys. He holds the keys. Everything is frequency and vibration. So if you want to merge these two realms together, you would need a god of portals and doorways. And be labelled God of Gods. Who could that be? And is this why they worship Janos? Why Janos came from nowhere? Because 3-4 years ago, there was hardly anything. Now I'm finding everything. Is that because I'm seeing them with fresh eyes, or is it because of the worship and the ritual basis? They have to do more to sync. Think about it. We have harp. We have CERN. A lot of people dismiss CERN. CERN is Cernunnos, the horned beast. Cernunnos is another name for Janos. CERN is supposed to be a portal. We're talking about to accelerate Counter-Earth to Earth's location. You would need accelerators. Is this what particle accelerators are? Yes, I'm just theorising and could be way off the map, but we've got CERN and we're supposed to have 3,000 other ones or whatever the figure is of these accelerators. Is this what they're trying to do? Are they trying to accelerate Counter-Earth to Earth's location? It just makes you think, and I'm just excited. You know, it's weird how these things excite you, don't you? But a comic get me excited because some of the terms that they're putting in, it's like they know something. So in this video, it's just going to be, like I said, what if video will have, you know, with me being excited like a little kid. It must be because it's bringing me back to my childhood. That's what it's got to be. But hey, they want to merge Earth. You ever watch Fringe? You know, the tech that is some from the other reality. We have buildings merging through realities, breaking other buildings and different things. And that's what I'm talking about. People are talking about the buildings of Tartaria, saying, how can we build them? What if those buildings are from Counter-Earth? And you see my point, especially if you've watched Fringe. And somehow they've brought these buildings over to this reality. Crazy. Well, it is a what if video, guys. So the premise of this video is also me talking about Counter Earth. Well, I mentioned Fringe as a TV series where he goes to an alternate reality and he brings his son back from that reality to this, because in this reality his son died. Well, through the series you see Walter showing you examples of this window that can actually peer through to the other reality, and look, they have blimps or airships. It's not like in our past we've had blimps and airships, and a lot of people are talking about this. Where did it go? Why we're not using it now, etc. All that. So it's just intriguing, isn't it, that Fringe is talking about them being in an alternate reality. Well, I mentioned these as examples from Fringe. Buildings just reappearing and being taken away, like the alternate reality is fighting back. What if, like we're saying, there is a tech or advanced tech, Antichthon tech, that they in this reality were using to build buildings over? Hence why people are saying there's no way they built that in this reality. Well, what if it's not from this reality? That's why when you go to these buildings there is a different energy about them. So what you're seeing here, guys, is just me ghosting out the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. It's an old picture, so what I will do is I will phase in using, you know, the tech on my computer to glitch in, just like those gifs of buildings or, you know, monuments reappearing and disappearing, because people are talking about these buildings. How did they build these with, you know, horse and cart, and did they have some type of antiquity to build them? Or what if they were bringing these buildings over from another dimension, another reality, or a Counter Earth? That's why they stick out like a sore thumb. Think about it. Like I've just mentioned, when we walk around these buildings, you do feel a different type of energy. Now, it could be the material that it's built with, or could it be the fact that there's a residue of an alternate reality or an alternate timeline, an alternate Earth in these buildings. Now, this is just me theorizing. I'm not saying it's facts. I'm just, you know, using evidence from TV programs, you know, hidden stuff like they like to use, and coming up with a theory that they are bringing these buildings over, because it does answer some questions. How did these buildings be built in the middle of the deserts and different things like in Australia and whatnot? Could this be what happened? Think about it. Now we have the Golden Gate Bridge. It's not there. I'll glitch it in, and you can see the difference. It's like it just came from another realm, another reality. If it's all frequency, energy and vibration, and there is a device, like remember my old video about the AEIOU, and Frederick II, the Holy Roman Emperor, had a device and his monogram, it is AEIOU. What if they're using Antichthon to bring buildings over? That's why it sticks out like a sore thumb, like the Antichthon in the Vatican about looking into the future, bit like Walter Bishop's window. Is it that? Remember, glitch in, glitch out. And in the TV program Fringe, it's like the buildings are fighting back, the buildings are merging with buildings in this reality. Well, that answers this. In this realm, the buildings are not there. They've been brought over. They've been capped like a keystone and capped above the door. Is that to keep it phased in this reality? Who knows? I'm just theorising. But you can see from the effect that I'm showing on the screen about things being brought over and back and taken. You know, it's crazy, but, you know, in a weird point of view, it does make a little bit of sense. So in this video, we've had a few different interpretations of what Counter Earth could be if it was real. We've had it's just across from the central fire, like a counterbalance. We've had it's just out of phase in a frequency, a dimension, and we've also had it's just below the horizon. Now that come to me, as you can see from the image, if it is below us, what's one of the most famous sayings that people use? As above, so below. And I just went, wow. Are they saying, could it be they're saying the Counter Earth is just below? And obviously there's more to the saying, and I'm going to read out in, well, I'm not going to, I'll try to read it out in Latin. It is quod est inferius est secut quod est superius est quod est superius est sicut quod est inferius ad perpetranda miracula rei unius, which I believe could mean that which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below, for the accomplishment of miracles of the one thing. Now guys, tell me you can see what I'm seeing. To the full extent, it's saying that which is below is like that which is above. Now they could talk about heaven and obviously hell and earth, but what if they are talking about a counter earth that is below this earth or to the side? That which is below is like that which is above. Or they're talking because it's out of glitch, it's like a frequency. Are they talking that which is below a different frequency, so it's a different dimension? It just makes you think, doesn't it, when you read out that full script and it's talking about that which is above is the same as which is below. Earth, counter earth. You can see why I love researching, just coming up with these what ifs. You know what I mean? It's just interesting, isn't it? So in all the videos I've talked about the symbol on what people believe it actually is. This is the main one that people talk about, the Seal of Solomon. Now in some videos, especially one when I've been talking about the Llanos Islands, I've showed that the Greenland flag and the new Antarctic flag fits into it perfectly too, and I'll show you an image on the screen, especially with the Uberos, which is all Llanos related. Now what got me thinking when we're talking about Earth and counter Earth is, well, the Earth, in modern alchemy, the symbol for Earth is a triangle with a line. So as you can see, it fits. No, it's not perfect, but you can see where I'm getting at. So if we're doing as above so below in regard to Earth and counter Earth, let's put another triangle over the top, and as you can see, it makes the same shape. It even makes the two lines that represents a cross in the middle, but obviously it doesn't do the upward one. But you can see where I'm getting from, how very much alike it is to the symbol. Like, again, I'm not saying it's fact, but I just find it fascinating that the alchemy symbol, the modern one, is a triangle with a line, and the as above so below symbol that I'm using is very much similar. What do you guys think? I've just showed you the above so below, the triangles, obviously the symbol, alchemy symbol. Do you remember a few weeks ago I did another video and I showed the central fire in regard to how it looks like an eye? What happens if the counter Earth and Earth, the use symbolism, celebrities use which side they came from, the left or the right? It's just an idea. Also, if you remember from that video, I put a red cross on it to show you the path, and it was the St. George's flag, because we know obviously the link with St. George and Llanos. It just got me thinking. You remember it was about 2-3 videos ago, I think it was in the Valdez Staten video about the sundog painting. But look, you have the red cross. Now look at another image for above so below. What do you see? Oh yes, I see a red cross right in the middle between two earths. That's just what I've just been showing you. And it's just funny how it matches the eyes, because they know they love to do a lot of eye symbolism. It's just an idea I'm thinking out loud. But here we go, I'll show you another picture for counter Earth, but it's actually known as Antichthon, and that comes from the ancient Greek. I'm not going to pronounce the Greek, guys, but you can see it on the screen. So Antichthon means anti, against, or opposite the Earth. So that's its actual Greek name. But as you can see from obviously the sunset, the sunrise, you know, night and day as well, again it looks like eyes. And then people will talk about the black sun. I've always talked about the black sun is in regard to our eyes and the level of consciousness. Well, I wonder if this counter Earth is actually viewed, as we actually see it, in regard to our consciousness, because we see crazy stuff all the time. I've seen glitching planes, freeze in the sky from nowhere, and we've all seen weird stuff. So once if we're actually seeing the counter Earth just phasing out of this frequency, because our eyes all vibrate at a different frequency. We only see 1% of the spectrum. So is it funny that we only see 1% of the light spectrum? if there's another us on counter Earth seeing the same, that's the 11, the connection. We connect to each other. It's just intriguing things that I'm just throwing out there. And as you can see, I just thought, it matches the eye. As above, so below matches the red cross also. Is there something to that? So we've just talked about Antichthon, and obviously counter Earth. And obviously eyes. But look, this is an album cover I found. Obviously it's showing you the counter Earth with a central sun in the middle. It is identical to our eyes. But you sharp observers will see something. Now, this is a band known as, I don't know any of the music, the album's called Antichthon, from Population 2 or Population 11. Track released April the 11th. So people who followed me for a while know, and I'm talking about Janos, and obviously he's number 11, and I'm talking about the eye, Antichthon, counter Earth, and I get all that in one album cover. Tell me, is that a coincidence? So there's many types of models out there, guys. There is, isn't there? And we all try and research and look at different types of models. I think we all should. We have to respect each other's theories on what this realm is and ask ourselves, why do they believe that? Instead of mocking them, because that's what the big channels do. They mock each other. You know what I mean? We have to follow suit. We don't. We're better than that. We're better. We want to be better than the so-called cabal. You know, we are fighting them, not each other, and we're doing the work for them. People believe in a certain model or a certain map, and they get ridiculed within their own community. We should be together. We get ridiculed by the so-called people who are asleep, yet we're doing the work for them. Come on, guys, we have to just get past that and, you know, just look at each other's models, find a common standpoint, which should be evil, the cabal. That's who we're fighting. They've lied about everything, and we're trying to expose that. Come on, we can't do that if we're all on our own. A person on their own can do so much, and they can ignite passion in people. But, you know, more light brings more awareness. So we have the counter Earth, we have concave, we have flat Earth, and also I've just used any that I could get hold of. It's not Pacific, that's what I believe in before people start. And we have hollow Earth. Well, guys, what connects all of them? And you know it, and I know it. It's Janos, counter Earth, two Earths. Concave, two sides, as you can see, with the land on each side. That's dual aspect again. Flat Earth and more land. Well, how do you get to that extra land? You would need a doorway or a portal. Oh wait, there's Janos Islands, one on each end. You know, how many years ago did I show this? And still in the community, because they ridicule me, they won't talk about it. I mean, come on. If you believe in flat Earth and you believe in more land, and I've just showed you there's two doorways, you would jump on it. I would be so excited. Yeah, they won't, because it's Janos and they ridicule me. Their ego stopping them. And then you got hollow Earth, the same as the flat Earth and more land. Could be two entrance ways. I've also talked about how the Janos Islands could be how the Earth is powered. The poles. You need two poles, positive and negative. What numbers are that? Oh yeah, that's 11. So you can see why I get excited and a lot of you get excited. But people who have an ego and set the sail to, you know, the mast to the sail, whatever way around it is, because they don't want to talk about Janos. Well, it's your downfall, because you can find a lot of connections between that. And that's just a few models that I've just talked about there, showing you the dual aspects, the dualism. And some people don't believe in dualism. It's cool. I encourage people to try and think differently on this channel, but just respect each other's opinion. It's like me. I make a video and I'm not like, I think it's counter Earth, I think it's this, I think it's that. No, I'm just showing you information, and I love to brainstorm. You know what I mean? And people don't seem to understand that you can make a video and not believe in something, because I love brainstorming. This is how I see what you people think of that idea that I've just thought about, and that's the beauty of sharing. Sharing is caring. Right, guys, I thought this was wow that I'm going to show you. I've talked about a few of the shapes of this realm that we live in regards to my last section, but also there's people believe in assimilation. Now, assimilation needs AI of sorts. What is Janos's oldest name? IA. AI. It's not a long stretch, is it? Now we have the ECMWF, and that means the European Centre for Medium Range Weather Forecasts. Just look at the logo, it's 2 C's. C in alphabet is the third number, CC 33. But last year, they presented to the EU or the European Union, all these people, presenting Destination Earth, a digital replica of our planet. The ECMWF will present EU plans on March the 5th to develop a high-precision digital model of our planet. The initiative is called Destination Earth Destiny. See, destiny. This is our destiny. Wasn't most of Europe on lockdown in that time? If I can remember, time flies, doesn't it, when you're in lockdown? Yeah, they're okay to go through all this on destiny. This is your destiny. Its purpose is to create a digital twin of the Earth that will make it possible to interactively explore various natural processes and human activities. They also have our online avatars through all the clicks, your likes, basically facial recognition, you name it, they've got it. Google have said this, and they're feeding that information into Destiny. Like Free Guy is your avatars are in this world, and they're doing whatever models and things that they're doing involve replicas of us. That's what I want to know. Crazy. So the aim is to support EU's green transition, providing a new Earth system simulation and observation capability. Destiny will use artificial intelligence and draw on advances made in numerical weather prediction. ECMWF is set to be a key part of an exciting and ambitious project alongside institutions such as the European Space Agency, the European Organisation for the Exploitation of Meteorological Satellites. And then it just goes through into different people's names. Thomas Scordis, the European Commission Director for Digital Excellence and Science Infrastructure, said, efforts understand how our climate will evolve over the coming decades on how to best prevent or tackle these changes are vital for both mitigation policies and for building climate resilience. Destination Earth is a key initiative for Europe's twin digital and green transitions. It will greatly enhance our ability to produce climate models with unprecedented detail and reliability, allowing policymakers to anticipate and mitigate the effects of climate change, saving lives and alleviating economic consequences in case of natural disasters. Crazy. So they're feeding all this information into a simulation of Earth. Sounds like Counter Earth. Could Counter Earth be a simulation to join the long list of what I've said so far? Destiny will allow users to explore the consequences of different strategies to tackle climate change by testing a range of scenarios and mitigation strategies. It could, for example, be used to assess the likelihood of extreme droughts in different places and how the risk might be mitigated. More widely, Destiny will support the European Commission Digital Strategy and Green Deal priority actions on climate change, biodiversity and deforestation. It will also help monitor food security, changes in the polar regions and global sea rises. So you can see it's a lot. And new approaches from machine learning and artificial intelligence will be used to improve the realism and efficiency of the digital representations of our world. Ultimately, Destiny will revolutionise the European capability to monitor and predict our changing planet based on integration of extreme scale computing and real-time exploitation of all available environmental data. That is experimenting with us to see what the data would happen in Destiny. A digital twin. Who's got two faces? Our planet is a complex system. To better understand how it works, we have created a simulated living replica. Driven by advanced AI, the computer model is fed by a continuous flow of observations from the physical world. It allows us to revisit our past, to understand our present and predict our future. Ooh, destiny. That's our destiny. This is crazy. It really is. At the heart of destiny will be digital models of the Earth. These will mimic our world in an interactive way. Users will be able to change just a single aspect and explore the results. Free guy. A technique from weather prediction that will be useful in that data simulation. The combination of information from observations and computer models to distill the most likely current state of the Earth system. The destiny. Digital twins, twins, will push the approach further than ever. It will produce near real-time, highly detailed and constantly evolving models of the Earth, including impacts from human activities. Look at this, guys. You got understand the past, the present and the future. Past, revisit the past, understand the change. The present, access to monitor our current situation. And future, predict future changes and test how we might intervene. Past, the future. The present is invisible. Who has two heads? I'll leave that one with you. So the role is it will launch in 2021 and be implemented over the following 7 to 10 years. That is to take it through the Vatican's 100th birthday in 2029. It is, and also the so-called meteorites that's going to hit Apophis, if I remember. It is anticipated that ECMWF will be the major partner in overall EU initiative alongside ESA and EUMETSAT. Contributions will also be provided by a broad range of actors in Europe. Oh, they're getting actors. Oh, actors are getting involved. A key milestone is the launch of the first 2 digital twins by December 2023. December is when they do the vows to, you got it, Janos. I don't know, guys. I don't know what you think of this, but it is crazy. And it's just, like I said, there's a little bit more on it, but this is just going into all the partners and different things. If you want to have a look, just type in digital twins. It's crazy. And there we go, guys. I'm wow at that.
Yeah, they call me the black sheep. You know they call me the black sheep.
Hello and welcome. Camera's playing up, so I'm probably stuck like that. Right, guys. I just want to say thank you to everyone who came to the live the other day. They made it brilliant. I didn't realise how many people would join. It was... You know, people are still talking about it now, and mainly Steve the Bear Wheatley, he loved it. And he was like me, we just couldn't believe how many of you guys popped in. And I'm sorry there was a bit of a lag. It was a sense of I wanted to go through everyone, and I didn't realise, well, we're 2.5 hours in already. So thank you, guys. I will do it again. I might even do it more, depending on what you guys think. I want to start trying and get myself a bit out there more when I can. Just to offer a different perspective. I was always under the impression that, you know what, I'll just stick to my own channel. But, you know, I believe I can do more help if I get myself out a bit and onto other channels. And I'm going to start doing that. Because people seem to like me. Long-term subscribers. So, we're on about this video and one about Counter Earth. Now, the reason I put a disclaimer in, I just had to do it. Because we know what people like. I know people will ignore it anyway. But, you know, I want to go and say, did you see the disclaimer? And they're like, You know what I mean? That's why I really did. It's just to back myself up. So I appreciate people who watching it and are okay with me thinking out loud. Some of you who's just joined won't understand that. When I make a video, sometimes it's not my theory in the sense of, you know, it's not. I'm not saying it's fact, and I'm not saying it's this. I love to just look at something and connections make. Oh God, I remember that on a TV program from years ago, or a music, or a film, or in a book, and that connection. Wow, if that put it together, I like putting puzzles together like that because that's just how I work. And more videos you'll watch, you'll just see, you know, how I am as a person. I'm just like you guys. I'm really into learning anything I can. And I'm not scared to think differently. If history says it's this, or the main theory says it's this, and I see something else, I'll say it. I think something else like the remnants of Tartarian, which was Janos, because I found a lot of connections linking it to Janos. And even though I showed you, I'm not talking about this, people say, well, Tartarian is this, Tartarian is this. Well, there we go, there's another an opinion to go with the collective, because there's nothing wrong with having a different opinion. People are under an impression it's not anymore, because people don't want to, you know, stick the toe out and, you know, get ridiculed. We're going to get ridiculed whatever we do, so you may as well do it with something not only that you believe in, or you feel like we're fighting for the freedom of choice and truth and speaking out, you know. Well, yet we restrict ourselves in the community. I've just never got it, and I'm not in any communities as it is, because as soon as I come on, is that could be Janos, that, and it could be this, and have you ever thought of this? It's blocked and it's gone, and I'm out of groups. So I don't really go in any groups anymore, because people are just not open. I'm not saying the people in charge of the groups are. I mean, I've come into some of them. I helped to, you know, to moderate some of these early groups that got 40, 50,000 in now, and some good people in, but there's some bad people in too. But that's just life. So I just stick to myself, and even though I said I wasn't going to do more lives, I just wanted to do it to test the stream, and that gave me the bug again. And I might start doing it on other channels, because I want my perspective to get out there. I want the perspective that I champion, that it's okay to be different. It's okay to be the black sheep. It's okay to have a different opinion than what the community says. And there's not enough of that. I will turn on a channel and they'll say, oh, we believe you should, you know, you can think what you want. Yet people are scared to say it in the group, because as soon as you do, you're blocked and you're out. So they're like saying the thing for the screen, but they're not promoting it. And I promote thinking different. And unfortunately, YouTube stops us from communicating. A lot about, let's say 80% of the comments I can't even answer. They disappear when I click on it. People understand that. Yes, they'll get ridiculed for not answering. I can't have it, guys. I can't. If I can't click on your comment, I can't click on your comments. So this video is just, like I said, Cam to Earth. I had a theory from an old video. I've had it for a long time, to be honest. Yeah, I touched on it in that sundog painting. And from then I've just had a bee in my bonnet, as the saying goes. Because obviously I'm a sci-fi geek. And one of the premises of this video is Tartaria. People are talking about how these towns were founded, and the buildings don't match the rest of the buildings. You will get some, and you have rows of it, won't you? But on, you know, 80% of the time, 90%, I don't know, whatever. I'm just surmising. The big buildings, huge car-like bricks, and it's the same old thing. How can people build that with a horse and cart? They had Antichthon, right? Where is that Antichthon now? Why not building it now? Was it just slaves? Is it the cost? Or did these people generally don't build it? And we'll have people talking about giants, ancient race, sound, levitating, you name it. There's a theory out there for it. Now, the new theory, well, I'm not saying it's new, there could be about a million videos. It's new to me. Let's say that. These buildings were found and locked in location with a keystone. Makes sense to me, because when I walk in these buildings, I get a vibe straight away that, I'm not saying as soon as I walk in, this building is not from this reality. No, you just get a weird tingling feeling, like, wow, is it because of the presence? Is it because of the how these bricks were made? Or was it advanced tech? If it was brought in from another reality, or it was sent here, or we truly are just out of an alignment from a counter Earth. That makes you think. And if there's not a building in this reality, because it talks, remember, about the different theories, and that then people weren't as advanced as the other side, and they're sending buildings over. If there's not another building here, it gets kept, it gets locked, and it's in place. Now, in the TV series Fringe, they were using buildings as weapons, because obviously the building was in the same location, sending it over, and it was basically causing earthquakes, and it was also causing the building to merge together and like melt and morph into one. People were inside, were morphing with their own selves. It's just an intriguing, and like Fringe and other programs like the Adjustment Bureau, you have people that watch, the watchers. It's just interesting theory, doesn't it? And we have other people who believe in flat Earth. Like I said, a lot of people know what I believe in, but I do love to not restrict myself to a model, and I like to look at different things. Do I need to look at a lot of things more in place? Yes. I started off looking 5 years ago, 6 years ago into flat Earth. I was building maps, getting ridiculed and laughed at by the community. What they're all using now, a lot of my information, you don't get credit for it, and it's nice to get credit, and it's not about ego. It's like when you go, if for instance you was a cobbler making shoes, and you made the best shoes or a decent shoe, it's nice for your peers to say, you know what, you make a good shoe. You know what I mean? For all your hard work, because I do it for nothing. I'm not promoting nothing. So it's just nice. You know what I mean? You get them off people who, you know, friends and subscribers or whatever. I don't like using that word, but people who, you know, think alike. And it's good. You know what I mean? It's not ego. It's just, you don't want to be making videos and creating fucking people hating you and calling, you know, crap. It's not, you know, it's not about that. I have an ego. I've told you many times, I'm human. You know what I mean? But, you know, when I started off a couple of years ago, I told everyone the Hovid was a ritual. And I showed you who is a ritual to. I'm not laughing now, because a lot of people are looking into it and going, wow, everything aligns to 11 and it's all connected to Janos. And this is a possible reason why, because if there is a counter Earth, you need a bridge, the frequencies, you know, to attach, to move over. Like I said, is it just out of phase? Is it over the central fire? I don't know. Is it like a Viking Idrisil type of thing? Who knows? That's the beauty of it. We just don't know. We can theorise. But you need a god of transition, doorways and portals. He has the keys. Do all the rituals, worship him, and they're able to come over. There's other theories that they're talking about how they're trying to merge one reality to another. Is that why the Schumann resonance spikes? Is this, like I was talking to Ambiguous for today, that demons? What are a demon? I've always talked about how evil and demons are a frequency. Well, what happens if it's just one of your personas from a different reality trying to merge and get back into your body? Who knows? These are just interesting things that when they're talking about merging realities and they're trying to use it, accelerate that frequency over to this, and there's 30,000 accelerators, it's not all the same as CERN, but Janos is a god of portals and doorways. His other name is CERN-inness. You know what I mean? Why? You know what I mean? I think that was the neighbours. Why not tell people? So if the god of doorways and portals is CERN-inness, and it calls CERN, and that's another name for Janos, isn't that a wow? Just like more land outside the ice wall or hollow earth, you would need to get to it. How would you need to get to it? By a doorway or a portal. Well, is there any Janis Islands? Yeah. That was 2, 3, 4 years ago. I originally did that. People are not using it. It's not made up. You can go and research it yourself. People say, oh, that's just a coincidence. It's Janus. Words are spells. There's magic to it. There's a reason they're calling it this. Gives it power. And this is just what this video is about. It's not me aligning with a theory. This is just me thinking out loud, like, wow, what if they did have an Antichthon tech weapon to open a doorway and bring that building over and found it and then locked it into place. Would make sense why they're standalone, why you can go anywhere in the countryside and the building in little wooden huts, and then there's 1 or 2 or 3 buildings. It's like huge limestone blocks. It's like, wow, where did he move that to? Out of another frequency. Because people talk about using sound and frequency to levitate. Open a portal. Because everything is a frequency. And if there's so many realities, whatever you believe in, are they merging it over? Is that why people talk about and research now melted buildings being mountains? Think about it. If there's a mountain in this reality, and it's a building in this reality, and you're bringing it over, and it's morphing, like I said, I neither disbelieve or believe in anything. I try and treat it as all as information, and that could answer that. That's just thinking out the box, that, Paul. I'm just using information and thinking, could that be this? Could that be this? If not, move on. But someone will, hopefully it will be some good information for some people. Because I've done a video called Tempus Fugit, which means time flies. The old symbol for the masonry was, an hourglass, and it had wings. And then they moved it to the sextant and square. But it also represents a lot of things, and that's what I did in that video. But the main thing is Janos Cosmology. Janos Cosmology. Did you even know there was a cosmology called that? Called Janos. And it looks like an hourglass. But once if it's representing 2 Earths, you would need, like I keep saying, is at the 11. The alchemy symbol for an Earth is a triangle. That fits into as above, so below. Again, they do mean this, this and this, but why can't they mean something else? Why can't they? Why does it have to be what someone says who's got a bigger channel? It's all information, and that's what I just try and do. I like to think out the box. I don't like to restrict myself. I know some people might say, oh, you do a Janus a lot, because if I see connection, I'm going to tell you guys. I won't be a researcher or a person that likes to ask questions, a questioner. If I see something and don't portray it, if you don't like it, that's unfortunate, you know what I mean? It's just life. We don't like things, we like things. But you've got to understand that I'm putting the work in to show you, just like you are for me. You know what I mean? And that's what I just love. Thinking out the box. We're talking about different realities here. Or we're talking about physical place. Is that over the land? Is that over the central sun? Is that at a 47-degree inclination? Because isn't it funny that... Let me just show you so you can actually see and people don't think I'm crazy. Oops, can you see it? So you can see that I've got it on the screen. It talks about how, yes, the Earth's axis and all that. I'm not one of those people. But it tells you that it tilts at this. And it also talks about the Earth's orbit and the Sun. That creates a 47-degree declination difference between the solstice, sun paths, and as well as the hemispheres. So they're talking the angle's 47. That's 11. Janus is also them solstice. I've showed you in videos. I've showed you people say it. Doesn't mean it's fact. Just means other people are saying it. So if Janus is the sun... and he's the solstice, why are not people talking about it? I'm championing it, and a lot of you out there and other people, and for other people who just want to look into the topic or Tartarian or different things, I'm on Twitter as What the Flock TV, and also there's good people on there, like Waking Up with Analog, my good friend over there. So if you're on Twitter, go and check them people out. It's just exciting times. And I've always been on the question, people are always asking me, Paul, why did you worship Janus? Now I'm starting to get more and more into it. If all what I'm seeing is right, we're talking about them creating a place called Destiny and Virtual World, where they've already got our voodoo dolls, our avatars, and you know, they're trying to get us to implant chips and download our memories to this place. Creepy times, but it's also intriguing and interesting. Come on. I mean, ask these questions. Why did some certain civilizations just disappear? Was it just death? Did they move? Did they change name? Was it just history rewriting them out of history? All plausible. Or what if they moved realities? If they had the tech, it makes sense. If built things can merge into other buildings and mould and melt, if they can move over. I mean, what type of tech are we talking about? They have the chronovisor in the Vatican, seeing the past and the future. The Vatican is Janos, the key. It's just a crazy and interesting topic, even this one. So if you want to check stuff out like Tempus Fugit, which is the hourglass, and how many things match that and go into that, I'll try and put the link in the description. If not, just it's on my list. Just go on the sections or click the video button. You will find it. Let me see if I can find it for you, just so you can know the picture of it now. I'll just get onto my channel. I'll click in video. It is an older video. I think I even made most of it when I was... Oops. Wi-Fi's got off. Oh dear me, it's not one of those days, is it? Fighting against us, guys. Fighting against us. I'll have to restart that in a minute. I'll come back to that if the Wi-Fi comes back up. But obviously I'm just using the camera. So what I want to say is, what could this other reality be? Come to Earth? Is it not even a thing? Could be. But it still doesn't mean I don't have to make something interesting and cool to me. I'm really excited about this. Oh, Wi-Fi is back up now. I'm really excited about this because it can answer a lot of questions. And yeah, it does pose more questions. we get that. Oh, dear me, where is it? 10 months ago. So it's called Tempus Fugit, and it's got a hand and it's got a glass in it. You can just see it. There you go. And I'll try and remember. I'm just like I said, I'm trying working 3 videos down the line here, and I'm like, I forget to put links in and different things. I'll get there. But this video is just to show you a different perspective. How could Tartarian buildings be brought here? Because a lot of people say to me, and I hear them in streams, God, it's like that building just plumped and fell from the sky. Once if it's not a sky, you should come up from another reality. And when you say things like that, you sound like cuckoo. But, you know, we're all cuckoo in this realm. You know what I mean? Cuckoo hides things in plain sight. And we're talking about merging realities. Is it a case of that? Because I've heard people who said they've seen buildings reappear and disappear in front of them. Who am I to say that they didn't see it? You know, we're always quick to jump on the bandwagon for either yay or nay. You know what I mean? We should just evaluate, you know. Is it crazy that I saw frozen planes? People saw frozen cars, frozen birds in the sky. Are they in this reality, or are they from the other reality? And because they've phased into this reality, they froze. Who knows? But I'm just intrigued about this topic on how it could fit into what we are. It's talked about in some theories, phasing. Well, they've got HARP, they've got CERN, they've got all the accelerators, and anything else that we don't even know about. Changing the frequencies, the human resonance is spiking all the time. We're all feeling off our game. You've got 5G, you've got 6G coming, 7G. And the tech that we are 50 years behind, whatever they've got out, there's something going on. And we as a community should be backing each other, promoting each other. Yeah, and, I don't get what he said, but you know, we all see differently, and that's the beauty of it. If we all see something differently, maybe that they can cross a line. Like this topic, People believe in flat earth, concave, whatever you believe in. There is simulation. Janus connects them all. Why does he connect them all? Because he's the god of doorways and the key keeper. He holds the keys, the frequency keys. And that's why I researched that topic. Doesn't mean it's right, but it means it's bloody interesting. And this theory, again, blows my mind. We're talking about a counter Earth, and then you start to think other theories. Well, that then, what is about demons? Could that be from that reality? Like shadow people, are they sinking in from a different frequency? Buildings, melted buildings, locking it over. Are we at war with a different reality? The other, if from the cartoon Marvel, it was called sphincter. Well, that sounds like the sphincter, which is a muscle in your anus. Are they talking shit? Probably, but could have named it anything else. Yet they called it the name of Janos. Doesn't take much, does it, to get me excited? Must be my old age, guys, and when I get a few more follicles, it must be taking blood from my head. But it's an intriguing topic, and I want to leave it where you guys can look at something and go, you know what, I see that model, or I see this. It's just wow, isn't it? People talk about crater Earth. Well, couldn't that not be counter Earth? Is that reflection? Is it both merging together? Who knows? I don't say I've got all the answers. I've got more questions, but that's what I'm doing. I'm keep asking question after question and changing and moulding myself to fit a reality that we seem to be stuck in at the minute. But we won't get any answers or questions or whatever if we just stick to what we've been told. You don't have to agree with me here, but you just have to respect that, I've just put this together. You don't have to like it, you don't have to agree. That's cool, because if we all think the same, it's going to be boring. But it's how we talk to each other and how we interact is the key, you know what I mean? And I just love having like-minded people on this channel, because I'm going to learn so much from the comments I can get. And this, counter Earth. What do you guys think? Before I go, do you think it's over a central fire? Do you believe it's just under Earth? Because then that would be definitely the Tempest Fugit or Dante's Inferno that I've talked about, as above, so below. Could it be what people say, like I said, Planet X, reflection, Nibiru? Who knows? It might not even exist. Highly probable. But it doesn't stop us from asking these questions, does it? And we won't be researchers or questioners if we stopped and think, you know what, that'll be laughed at, or no, that's so crazy. I'll keep going. And I just love the support you guys show me. It is humbling. It's very emotional. I do get really emotional, because in the space of 10 months, we've gone from having no subs to what we are today. I used to have an old channel that got deleted, and if this gets deleted, I'll be back and we'll start again. It's just a game we play. I won't give up if you won't give up on me. I've still got a song in my head. So, guys, take care. Always wear a smile and pay it forward. I plan to do more lives and different things, and I'll try and get to what comments I can. Like I said, I'm on Twitter if you want to see day-to-day stuff that doesn't make it into a video. What the Flock TV, and that's over there. So guys, take care. I will see you in the premiere. Hopefully you're still here and it's not just me talking to two people in the chat, I'm one included. But come on, if you're honest with ourselves, there's some bones to this, whether it's just bad bones, but you know what I mean? It just gives me more questions, and this is just the start of this theory, and I'll see where it can go, guys. But, we need your help. Bye, guys. Take care.